Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today. We're going to be focusing on something that can literally transform your home-cooked meals, and that is growing fresh, incredibly flavorful arugula right in your very own garden, or honestly, even on a sunny apartment balcony. If you're tired of throwing away your hard-earned money on that limp, flavorless store-bought arugula, the kind that just completely wilts in the fridge after a couple of days, well, you are absolutely in the right place. There is just no comparison to the vibrant, zesty punch of homegrown greens. By the time we wrap up today, you're going to have a complete step-by-step masterclass on cultivating this amazing leafy plant, all the way from a tiny seed to a massive harvest.
But before we get our hands dirty, let's take a quick trip back in time. Did you know this exact leafy green was actually highly prized in ancient Rome? Yeah, it's true. It was valued not just as an everyday culinary staple, but they actually considered it an aphrodisiac. They'd even press the seeds to make these really unique oils. And beyond all that rich history, arugula boasts an absolutely incredible nutritional profile. We're talking loaded with iron, vitamin C, and B vitamins. It's a true ancient superfood that has seriously stood the test of time, and today it's a gourmet favorite all over the globe.
So, to make sure you're growing like an absolute pro, we've broken this explainer down into 6 clear steps. We'll start with an introduction to arugula, then preparing your garden, planting arugula seeds, caring for your arugula, harvesting, and finally, troubleshooting common problems. All right, let's get right into it.
Section 1, Introduction to Arugula. So whether you're a total beginner who's never planted a thing or a seasoned green thumb, arugula is incredibly forgiving. It makes a fantastic addition to literally any growing space. It's a fast-growing member of the mustard and cabbage family, which means it loves cooler weather and brings this wonderful, refreshing zest to your plate. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that not all arugula is created equal. You generally have 2 main choices. First up is cultivated arugula, or Aruca sativa. This is the stuff you usually see in those plastic clamshells at the grocery store. It has broader, more rounded leaves and a milder, kind of nutty flavor. Second is wild arugula, or Diplotaxis tenuifolia. This variety actually acts as a perennial. It features these finely serrated, deeply lobed leaves, and let me tell you, it delivers a super intense, spicy, peppery kick. You can choose the one that best fits your palate, or honestly, better yet, just plant both.
And here is a number that is going to make any health-conscious gardener very happy: 25. That's the number of calories in a 100-gram serving of fresh arugula leaves. But hey, don't let those low calories fool you, because it packs a massive nutritional punch. It's incredibly rich in beta-carotene, which, remember, our bodies convert directly into vitamin A, along with iron and B vitamins. It's basically an absolute powerhouse for your daily diet. Moving right along to Section 2, Preparing Your Garden. The secret to a really massive, flavorful yield isn't magic. It's simply about setting up the right environment before a single seed even touches the dirt. Arugula has a few specific but super manageable preferences. First off, it's a cool weather crop. It absolutely thrives in temperatures under 25 degrees Celsius. If it gets way too hot, the plant basically panics and bolts, which means it shoots up and goes to flower. Because of this, it actually really prefers partial shade. Just 4 to 5 hours of sunlight a day is perfect. As for the soil, you're aiming for a pH between 6.5 and 7.5. You want a really light, well-drained soil. So if you happen to have heavy, clumpy clay in your garden, you'll definitely want to mix in some perlite or fine river sand just to ensure those delicate roots can breathe.
Now here is an absolutely crucial expert tip for you. You might be super tempted to load up your soil with those heavy, synthetic fertilizers to get giant leaves, but please don't do it. Arugula is what botanists call a rapid nitrate accumulator. That means if you over-fertilize with synthetic nitrogen, the plant just stores all those extra nitrates right in its leaves. That can actually be unsafe to consume in really large quantities, and honestly, it completely ruins the taste. Instead, just stick to a nice, light application of diluted organic compost or some worm castings.
Getting our hands dirty now with Section 3, Planting Arugula Seeds.
If you have never grown a single thing from seed before, do not stress. Arugula seeds are so incredibly forgiving. They germinate super fast, and they're perfect for direct sowing right into your garden beds or balcony pots. But timing is everything. Because it really loves the cold, some varieties can even survive mild frosts. Your absolute best outdoor planting windows are in the spring, so we're on March to May, and then again in the autumn, from September to October. You really want to avoid that extreme midsummer heat, which just turns the leaves super bitter. That said, if you're growing indoors on a nice sunny windowsill, you can actually sow seeds year-round, as long as you maintain a comfortable room temperature of around 18 to 22 degrees Celsius.
Okay, let's dive into this actual physical planting process. It's wonderfully simple. Step 1, you're going to draw shallow little lines in your soil, spacing your rows about 20 to 30 centimeters apart. Step 2, take those tiny black arugula seeds and sprinkle them evenly. Then cover them up with just half a centimeter to 1 centimeter of really fine soil. And step 3, water them in gently. I cannot stress this enough. Don't use a heavy stream of water, or you're literally going to wash the seeds right out of the soil. A gentle misting is absolutely perfect here.
Next up is Section 4, caring for your arugula.
So, now that our seeds are safely in the ground, this maintenance phase is all about consistency and just nurturing those young plants as they sprout up. Your everyday routine should look kind of like this. Keep the soil consistently moist, but not soaking wet or waterlogged. When the little seedlings finally pop up and develop their first 2 to 3 true leaves, you've got to thin them out. That means plucking a few out so the remaining plants have about 8 to 10 centimeters of space between them. This airflow is completely vital to prevent disease. Make sure you keep the area free of competing weeds, especially early on. And if you feel the plant needs a boost, go ahead and apply a highly diluted organic liquid fertilizer every 2 weeks.
So, if there is one thing you take away from this maintenance section, let it be this crucial insight right here. Water consistency is everything. When arugula experiences a dry spell, even a really short one, it actually triggers this intense defense mechanism. The plant literally thinks it's dying, right? So it rapidly synthesizes these bitter, spicy compounds, and the leaves become incredibly tough and fibrous. To keep those leaves tender, sweet, and perfectly peppery, you must never let that soil completely dry out.
And now for the best part. Section 5, harvesting arugula.
This is easily the most rewarding part of any gardener's journey. And honestly, with arugula, you won't be waiting long at all. I mean, just look at how fast this plant moves. Within 3 to 7 days, your seeds are going to germinate. By day 20, you'll be thinning the plants out, and guess what? Those thinned out baby leaves are absolutely perfect for a delicate little garnish. And by days 35 to 40, your plants are going to be about 7 to 8 centimeters tall, and your full-on harvest begins. That is just over a month from a tiny seed to a huge salad.
Now, to completely maximize your yield, you'll want to follow this specific harvesting technique. Step 1. Always pick the older outermost leaves first. Step 2. Cut them really cleanly right at the base. See, by leaving that central rosette intact, the plant is just going to keep on producing. In fact, you can get up to 5 regrowths in a single season using this exact method. Finally, step 3. Store your harvest completely unwashed in the fridge, somewhere between 0 and 15 degrees Celsius, and toss a paper towel in there to absorb the extra moisture. And definitely don't freeze them, or they'll just turn into complete mush.
Finally, Section 6, troubleshooting common problems.
Because, let's face it, nature always throws a curveball or two, and knowing exactly how to react to those challenges is what really separates a total novice from a garden expert. The 2 biggest threats to your precious arugula are earth fleas and bolting. Earth fleas are these super annoying tiny jumping beetles that chew dozens of little holes right through your leaves. Because they actually survive the winter in dead plant debris, keeping your garden completely clear of weeds is your very first line of defense. You can also sprinkle a little wood ash on the leaves, or just set up some sticky traps to catch them. The second major issue is bolting. That's when the plant suddenly sprouts those white or yellow cross-shaped flowers because of the heat. To prevent your leaves from turning painfully bitter, make sure you provide some shade during those really hot afternoons, water heavily, and if you see a flower stalk starting to form, harvest your leaves immediately.
Just a quick heads up as we wrap things up today, gardening is highly localized. You've always got to factor in your specific microclimate. Think about things like your first and last frost dates, your own local soil makeup, and for sure, consult regional horticultural experts if you're ever in doubt. But above all else, don't be afraid to just get out there and experiment. Arugula is hands down one of the most rewarding, fast-paced, and wildly delicious crops you could possibly grow. So go grab some seeds, find a nice slightly shady spot, and start planting today. But before you go, ask yourself this. Once you totally master arugula, what other gourmet, fast-growing greens could you be harvesting straight from your own windowsill right now? Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and happy gardening!